The next one is go to chapter 6 and look at verse 9 of Matthew. Jesus wants us also to know that we can't live without connection to him. In fact, prayer is a connection to God. Prayer is all about a cord that causes us to have a conduit of communication and power between us and the infinite God of the universe. Prayer is our attachment. Do you ever watch the movies about spacewalks or when they're doing the Skylab? You know how those astronauts, they have to have that pack with them, and they have to have some connection because they'll float away. Our connection so we don't float away from God is prayer. And you know, that cord of prayer, needing to pray and be connected to God all the time, sometimes it's challenging. I mean, I told the first service that in the 80s when I was pastoring in New England, we lived in a 160-plus-year-old mansion that all the pastors had lived in for generations that was bought by the DuPont family, and the pastor had to live in it. And it had all these gardens and hedges, and I was supposed to trim all those things. So you know me, I was studying all the time, and it was time to trim the hedges, and I'd try and do them all fast, you know. And I would get my cord out, and I'd have it over, and it'd be like this, and all of a sudden I'd go, whoop. I'd cut my own cord. I did that. So my hedge trimmer had so many wrappings of, you know, being repaired and everything. But did you know, as soon as the cord was cut, the trimmer stopped. Did you know a lot of believers are not running on power to God? Their cord is cut. They are not connected to God. Prayer does not characterize their life. They don't pray without ceasing, and their trimmer isn't working. And they can't figure out the connection. And God says, teach them after this manner to pray. And by the way, the Lord's Prayer, when we get to it, we haven't done that one yet either. We're going to do that one actually starting next week. The Lord's Prayer is almost a microcosm. There are 7 elements in the Lord's Prayer that reflect all the elements. And then the Spirit-filled we covered, that apart from the Spirit we can do nothing, and that's in John chapter 7.